Auburn Tigers are back on the court against the Tennessee Volunteers, and in a heart rhythm, heartbeat check moment, we are victorious 53-51. The Tigers take down the Volunteers. Boy, oh boy, do we got a lot to talk about in this one. We're going to talk about that score, the stats, and the storylines. Let's get into all those different things right now. War Eagle, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we talk about the Auburn experience. That Auburn experience to us is all about Auburn sports, Auburn culture, Auburn family stuff. An easier way to say it is if it's orange and blue, it's what we do. So thank you so much for joining us. And what we're going to do today, tonight, this evening, this moment, right after seconds ago, the Tigers are victorious in a game versus the Tennessee Volunteers. Men's basketball takes them down by the score of 53-51. That is your score. The big stat for me is obviously the number 33. What does that 33 belong to? Certainly, I'll tell you. It's one Johni Broome, who's also our storyline. Johni Broome comes back into this game, and not only is one of your leading scorers the leading scorer tonight, he also matches everybody else in playing time tonight after that big ankle injury. That is only the beginning of it in storylines and stats and stuff. So many more things to talk about, and we want to hear from you in this post-game stream. As you're coming into the show, please do make sure that you smash that like button. It is a huge help to us, lets people know that we're live. Even if you're watching on the replay, if you're listening to the audio version of this, certainly do all that kind of stuff. Share it out. Help us grow this little family within the Auburn family. And folks, smash the like button. Come on. You got to smash the like button for what we just witnessed after the week that has been in Auburn. There's so much we could even talk about beyond just the game, but there's enough to talk about here today. Auburn is victorious in a slobber knocker. I had to explain that to my wife. I think everybody's got different versions of how they explain or define that frame, but I will call it a slobber knocker of a fight. No team breaks 60 points. In fact, both teams were at 20, or I was going to say below 20. They were just above 20 and 22 going in to the end of the first half. This was a game that was not about scoring. It was a game about defense, about who would make the last mistake. And thankfully, the Tigers made one fewer mistakes than the Tennessee Volunteers, and you would expect as much at home during a home game during the confines of Neville Arena. Your Tigers are victorious today. Certainly, we are going to do what we normally do. We will walk through your stats in the team fashion, the individuals, and mixed in amount around all of that, we will certainly talk about the storylines. So you guys take a part in that in the chat. We'll try our best. We've got an already popping and lively chat already. We won't be able to acknowledge and say hello to every single one of you, but we will try to our best. And so many of you are talking about your heart rate right now, but do chime in as you find something appropriate that you want to bring up, a point, and we'll bring it up as we can this evening. I think we just need to start right here. How good is it to have Johni Broome back? It's been the big storyline the entire 2 weeks. How's it been? 2 weeks now that he's been gone, minimum? When is he coming back? When is he coming back? Would he come back versus Tennessee? I'll be honest with you. I thought it was a long shot that he would play any, much less some, versus Tennessee. Obviously, that's a credit to him and his work ethic and the, I would say the medical staff, I think the therapy staff or whoever it is that helps him with those at Auburn to continue to heal, work on, get comfortable with that bad ankle injury that he had several weeks ago. He comes back and not only leads in scoring, but he also matches the highest individuals in playing time, which is what we started off saying. He is the big storyline. 33 minutes for him. The others, Chad Baker-Mazara, and also Miles Kelly tonight with 33 minutes. Denver Jones right there with 32 as well. So what a testament to Johni Broome. You know, listen, our focus is about this game, but certainly he's still in the conversation for player of the year with some other people out there. Certainly, I think this is one of those moments that you point to if you're trying to make the case for Johni Broome as one of the best in college basketball, coming back from a very bad ankle injury that quickly to play this many minutes and still lead your team in scoring on a night where you had to have him. I mean, you just had to have him, and he showed up, showed out. That is why, in my opinion, he is still the best player in college basketball. I know I'm a little bit biased though, so I'll go on with that. Lots of people talking about their heart rates, the defensive battle that it was. George says Tennessee is as good as Auburn. Auburn had the home court advantage with the refs at the end. I think George. I don't know if George is an Auburn fan. I'm going to lean Tennessee fan, although he could just be a non-object or whatever the term is, a fair Auburn fan. Now, what I'm going to say is this. Please, let's not make any discussion about the refs tonight on either side of this. And this is the same thing. My statement these days, and I used to be the biggest about the refs. You should never be in a position for the refs to affect the outcome of the game. So if you're a Tennessee fan making that excuse, don't be an Alabama fan. They have that wall that says, just excuses. But let's not keep it about the refs. The fact of the matter is you had two teams going toe-to-toe tonight in a tough environment. And I will grant you this, that either team at their home court advantage probably wins this game. I make the same case, and we saw it happen that way with Auburn-Duke. Their only loss on the year thus far, and Tennessee nearly becomes that second loss for Auburn. So Tennessee is an excellent basketball team. Can I just say this? This is more of it's a storyline, but it's more of an annoyance. Zakai Ziegler, I'm so tired of seeing you. Mad respect. He leads them in scoring tonight with 14 points, which, is not, I thought there would be somebody a little bit more higher than that tonight, but that goes back to how little the scoring was tonight. But Zakai Ziegler is an outstanding guard for the Tennessee Volunteers and has been for a long time, and he is just annoyingly good. Tired of it. Tired of seeing him. And it'll be nice when he's finally gone. Corey equates this to a Tyson fight. I think you could call it Tyson fight, a boxing match, whatever you want to say. There was a lot of standing in corners, taking swings that weren't really landing. And finally, in that second half, in fact, let's kind of look at how the scoring goes a little bit. In the first half, at the end of it, 20-22, Auburn leads. It's a tie in the second half, 31-31, but both teams started getting into a little bit more of a rhythm down the stretch in the second half, resulting in that 51-53 final score. So definitely one of those things where your opponent, you're trying to feel them out. You're trying to feel them out. They're trying to feel you out, and then finally make that move, that swing. So a Tyson fight may be very apropos in terms of equating that. Let's see here. Well, we got some very interesting commentary in the chat tonight. Let's see here. Broome, Mazzara, Moore definitely weren't at 100%. Let's talk about that a little bit. So this is an Auburn team. Certainly you give them the credit and you give the fans, the students, the credit for creating the environment that is tough to compete in Neville Arena. But that's obviously in your favor. But think about this. You've got a not 100% Janai Broome, still leads the way in scoring tonight. You get Chris Moore, who gets whacked in the head by his own teammate, so it was inadvertent, but that kind of removes him from the equation. Chad gets knocked down a couple of times, that one really badly, and they still found a way to win. I don't think I need to make this case anymore, but for those of you that continue to still not listen, most of you, those people not Auburn fans, this is a really good basketball team. This is a very complete basketball team. If you need no other proof of that, right there. Janai's not 100%. Other guys that are key contributors, not 100% at times tonight. And still the Auburn Tigers get it done, even being at home. Let's see here. Just scrolling through some of the chats before we get into some more commentary here. Lots of War Eagles and celebrations starting to roll through. We got talk of heart rates, of defibrillators, all the different things coming through here. Let's see. Unbeaten Lake says, I'm happy we are being sluggish in the middle of the season. Best to do it now, not later. Certainly a very forward-thinking mindset there. And that could have something we can maybe discuss that a little bit. Robbie calls Auburn is a second half team. I don't care what half team they are. Just get the job done, whatever it is. Even if, and I would say some people at the beginning of the season said Auburn was more of a first half team where they would just light people up and then slowly let them creep back in at times. Certainly there's that element too. I like what Jacob brings up here, and I'm going to be honest with you. I was sitting here preparing my remarks when it got a little dicey looking at times and what my commentary would be relating around. I was very concerned about it. It's not even about the Janai injury and him not being there, because we saw two very good examples of Auburn at home, on the road without Janai, still getting the job done. I know this team is well-rounded without him and even better with him. I would say this, those layoffs, man, they are killer. We've seen it happen before during the holidays where Auburn was a little bit rusty, even playing at home after a layoff. They did not have a midweek game. That's not an excuse for the play, but it's just simply basketball is a very rhythmic game. In the game, in the week, and you can make the case for the same thing. You know, baseball teams, especially at college, they usually play a midweek game and then a series of 3. And so the coach who just started Butch Thompson, who just started their preseason practice, talked a lot about that. So I know we're going into baseball now, but just trying to relate that into a different area for you all. Chris says, we are a good team. Just enjoy it. I wholeheartedly agree. Still more celebrations rolling in here. Devin steps out and says, the Vols are nowhere near as good as Auburn. We played our worst game tonight and still won. That's a good question maybe to ask. Is this Auburn's worst game? Certainly you look to losses, of which there is only one. And certainly you could make a case for that being the worst game. This one, certainly in scoring alone, or lack thereof, certainly looks like it could be the worst game of the season for the Tigers and still got the job done. More to the point that if this was at a different place, this may have been a little bit different. Definitely one of my favorite experiences as an Auburn student. So Sam sounds like he was there. Sam, is this Sam from TikTok? Anyway, sorry. A lot of people cross over to the different platforms we're on. I'm trying to keep everybody straight here. Devin says we played better in that loss to Duke by far. I probably would agree with you there, but it's been a minute since that time. All right, let's take a step back. We'll keep talking about some storylines. We got to get to some stats here. Let's talk about these a little bit, man. We got a great crowd, so smash that like button and hit the follow, subscribe button on whichever platform you are, if you're not already. I thought that was you, Sam. Hope you guys had a fun time out there in the cold. No, I know y'all didn't stay overnight, but anyway, either way. Okay, individual stats. Let's talk about these. Tonight, your leading scorer, Janai Broome, we talked about his full stat line for you. 7 of 19 from the field, 1 for 3 from the three-point arc, 1 for 3 from the free throw line, 13 rebounds, double city. So can we just, I for the sake of having a fun show and discussion points, I love to ask the question, who is the player of the game? Come on, there's no question. Certainly, I want you guys to give me some shout outs for individuals who deserve that tonight. Certainly there are some of those things, but I think it's without a doubt, given the fact that he plays the amount he does tonight, he leads in scoring, crucial down the stretch for Auburn. He gets a double. Janai Broome is one of the best players, if not the best in college basketball. I'll say it again. 2 assists, one personal foul, and only 1 turnover in 33 minutes of play coming off the bench. The stats prove it, as Bryant says right here. Well put. Broome, obviously, is the player of the game. Your only other player tonight to get into double digits for Auburn was Chaney Johnson. We talked a lot with Janai out. What is Chaney going to do? And he stepped up and then some at times, and even does so tonight as the starter for Broome. Yes, playing less minutes because Broome got a few more. But certainly tonight, we got to give him his credit. He has 10 points, 5 for 8 from the field, 4 rebounds, and 2 personal fouls, no turnovers in 25 minutes of play. We've got somebody, best play of the game goes to Miles. If we're talking about the moment that it happened, and I think I even see Auburn basketball right now tweeting out dagger, and I'm assuming that's what it's in relation to is to Miles Kelly. Let's give credit to Broome as well, playing on this bum ankle. And he makes a play to save the ball from going out of bounds, flips it out to Miles Kelly in the corner by himself, and when it counts, knocks that ball down, giving Auburn the lead. Miles is definitely a player of the game, a moment. He had 7 points tonight for him. Let's go through the rest of your scores. If there's anything else that y'all want to give a shout out to tonight, Dylan had a great start as well. Denver Jones, 2 points tonight. Chad Baker-Mazara with 7. Dylan Cardwell with 4. I feel like that's Dylan's MO. He scores like 4 points very quickly, and the rest of the time he's just racking up other stats. So either way, I don't care as long as he continues to play as well as he's doing right now. Tahad Pettiford is probably the opposite of that. As it gets going, he gets more points, but only 8 points for him tonight. That's all your scores. That's it. Howard, Moore, Hudson, who didn't see a lot of playing time tonight, and you kind of understand why the way that everything was flowing. They do not score tonight. Not to say that many people scored and scored a lot this evening. We're going to get there. I see a lot of you pointing out to some team stats. We're going to get there in just a second. I do want to make sure that we're not missing on any moments here. I do hope that Chris Moore, I don't know if we ever got an update on him, is okay after getting knocked in the head by his teammate. Obviously, Chad came back into the game and was able to make it back there. Why did this person? Oh, interesting. Let me undo something here. Sorry, guys. I know this is a terrible show, even on the audio. How do we? Someone got blocked that wasn't supposed to be blocked. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, I'll have to go and see if I can fix that for them. Sorry. Anyway, let me type that down, actually. Sorry for all of you on the audio. They're like, what is he talking about now? I want to make sure that somebody is not, in fact, blocked. All right. That's a weird thing. Everything's going weird tonight. Defense showed out tonight, Sam says. Certainly they did. Still plenty of War Eagles and plenty of that coming in this evening. Adam says CBM played incredible defense throughout the game without Broome. Tonight, his game doesn't end in a W. Certainly that is worth bringing up. 7 points for him tonight. Let's talk about this. CBM, 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That automatically puts you in a category for player of the game if you do 100% of that amount from the free throw line. Looking to see the rest of his stats tonight because it only gives you a small snippet. And one thing I'm looking at here, he has 2 blocks, 2 steals, only 1 turnover. He does commit a few personal fouls this evening, 1 assist. And all his rebounds tonight are defensive rebounds. So pretty good stat line for him in a night where not everybody has a lot of points to show for their efforts. So certainly a good call out and shout out for all of that. All right. That is some of the individual stats. Let's talk about some team stats. Keep some of those stories and things, talking points that y'all like to discuss about individuals coming in. But let's take a look at the team stats tonight. You know where we're going to start. Say it with me. The big 3: free throws, turnovers, and rebounds. The thing that will put you in best position to win the game every time. It doesn't mean that you'll win the game if you win all of these categories or even 2 out of the 3, but you will be in position to win the game if you are successful here. Let's look at this. Free throws tonight. It was very close at the end. We missed 2 free throws, which were just gut punches because we could have put it away. 81 for Tennessee, 74 for Auburn. That is below my high water mark of 80% for Auburn, which is disappointing. However, still got the job done for the most part, 74%, but we do lose that category. Turnovers tonight. Wow, how close is this? 12 for Tennessee, 11 for Auburn. So a little more than you want to see, especially being at home a little sloppy at times tonight. But Auburn does win that category. And let's look at rebounds tonight. Total rebounds. Tennessee, 37, 41 for Auburn. They win that category. So they win 2 out of the 3. And even with winning those, the margins are so close, reflecting, in my view, about the importance of these 3 stats, the closeness of this game. And I think that is pretty evident right there. Some of y'all wanted to talk about the shooting. Let's certainly do that. Anybody else ready for this? The 3-point shooting alone. Overall, from the field, Auburn and Tennessee shoot 31%. It is 1 out of every 3 buckets. Well, I'm sorry, that's a little less than 1 out of every 3. Come on, Kyle, do the math. You got an Auburn degree after all. We are actually good at math and science, supposedly. I'm not a good representation of that, apparently. 31% for both teams from the field. Auburn is 16, making 15% from the 3-point arc this evening. Absolutely awful. Awful. It is the most glaring thing for Auburn. 3 out of 20. And in fact, I'm going to go ahead and make that my big stat, the most important stat of the game. And I know that's a negative, but you just got to wonder, at home, we traditionally shoot much better than this. And it's reflected in even the overall percentage. If Auburn even does slightly better in the 3-point percentage category, this is probably a much less stressful end to the game. So 15% is my big stat of the game because of how close it kept this game with us not being able to shoot from the 3-point arc as well. We talked about free throws and turnovers and rebounds, looking to see if there's anything else to break down in the rebound category of significance. A tie in, I've got my thing a little bit weird today. Just got back from being in Auburn. For those of you that saw me there, wearing the Outlive shirt tonight. Certainly, we do want to bring that up. Second chance points, Auburn wins that by a close margin. Here is probably and it is your biggest margin in the stat category, bench points. But this is something we're pretty familiar with. Auburn dominating their teams that they're playing in the bench points category. 10 for Tennessee, 28 for Auburn. Now, let's talk about the reality of that. Janai Broome, your leading scorer, and usually who is one of your, if not the leading scorer, is on the starting lineup, but tonight he's on the bench. So it's a little bit of a cheat, I feel like. But certainly it is the biggest one that sticks out in terms of a differential there. JL, I'm going to assume he comes in, I think, trying to be a little bit of a troll here. I think he must be a Tennessee fan. Tennessee wins this game at home by 10. A little bit late, my guy, because we said that. We gave Tennessee a lot of credit, that they're a great basketball team, and certainly whoever has the home court advantage, much like I reflected back on the Duke game, that this is one of those times that either team is going to knock off the other, depending on the venue. At a neutral site, this is probably, again, a very close and very fun game. Let's see here. A couple other things. How good is Pettiford? Tommy wants to give him a shout out. I don't know that we mentioned him a lot. 8 points tonight for him. He doesn't make a 3-pointer. It's 2 of 3 from the free throw line. Really would have loved for him to make that last free throw, or that first free throw of his final 2. Look, nobody's stat line aside from Janai's tonight as an individual is going to look really good. And that's the same for Tennessee, unless you're Zakai Ziegler tonight, 14 points, 4 for 15 from the field. That's not good. Doesn't make a single 3-pointer, but he's 6 for 6 from the free throw line, and he's got six rebounds, 5 assists. He's just a great basketball player. Got to give him credit, man. He is what it is. Yeah, the last save he made, Janai, certainly is one for the ages there. Anything else in the team stats, points in the paint in Auburn's favor, but very, very slim margins. They win fast break by a slim margin. We win in blocks decently, 9-5. Steals by 1, we'd win. Assists by 1, we win. And there's one stat line that's really a big significance there. What's the story? 2 juggernauts, 2 of the best in the nation, 2 of the 2 best, I think, in the SEC, go down to the wire and give each other everything they have tonight in a night where it really wasn't falling for a lot for either of the 2 teams tonight. There are 12 ties tonight, 10 lead changes. So you can see how back and forth it was. Tommy's asking, how large was this crowd? I was not there. I was actually outside the arena not too long before about an hour or so before it started. But it's another sellout. I forget the stat at this point, how many we've sold out in a row. But it was all you needed to do if you're wondering how popular or how busy this game is going to be is look at the prices. And the ticket prices were easily in the 300s for most of the time that they were there. WT says, I was not impressed with our usual tight inbound defense. Seemed lax tonight. I'll be honest with you. I wasn't really locked into paying attention to that as much as maybe I would be. Listening to the radio for the first part as I was arriving back here in studio, it seemed like they were talking still. Andy was talking very highly of it and was even pointing out that they were going to, I'm sorry. Yeah. The inbound defense. Yes. About how they were going to ask him about that at, what am I trying to say here at Baumhauer's? What do they do? Tiger Talk this next week. So maybe it got a little bit worse as time went on. There it is. 29 wins in a row at home from Tommy. Let's see here. Let's see. Richard says, do you really think that Auburn beat Tennessee? Be truthful without help. Well, yeah, and I think we're getting an influx, I think, either of Tennessee trolls or those that are of some or other fashion. Yes, Auburn is the best team in the nation. They have proven that time and time again. They prove it again tonight. If you can't see that, then you're just a sad little troll. And as we've been trying to say throughout this entire stream, probably before you got here to come and do your little troll, we've been giving a lot of credit to Tennessee as one of the best in the nation and the second best in the SEC. And the results prove that at this point. All right, let's see here. Of course, we blame our troubles on Austin. This is a little inside softball for some of you guys here. For those of you that are in the Conquer Club, check out the link in our profile or in our YouTube description if you want to be part of the Conquer Club. That is, what did Austin post in the Conquer Club? Is that a evidence of him at the game? If he was there and I wasn't, I'm a little upset at him. A little upset at him. Let's see here. Tommy says they both played terrible. Auburn gets the W. Auburn had not played in 7 days. And we don't want to use that as an excuse, but certainly that is part of the discussion point here. All right, we have walked through individual team stats. We have also talked about a lot of the storylines. Certainly, there may be something we haven't discussed yet. So I would love to continue to do that if there's something that you would like to discuss. But we also want to take a look forward. Before we do that, let me do the normal thing with you all here, give you what's coming up next here at E2C Network before we continue our basketball talk. For those of you that know the drill, sit back and relax. But let me just remind those of you that maybe don't know or forgotten, you've got other opportunities to be on our schedule of content that we have here, especially on YouTube. Next up tomorrow night, that is every Sunday night, unless otherwise stated, at 9 Eastern time, we do the Auburn Experience podcast, the flagship show of everything we do. It is episode 111, Sports Culture Family. You do not want to miss this episode. You can watch it be performed or done live. We are certainly going to talk about this basketball week with some other very important topics that I think we need to be having more well-rounded discussions about, celebrating this win. And we're also going to talk about that Auburn awesome snow that we had and plenty of other Auburn potpourri topics out there in the Auburn news world. Keep in mind, we've still got plenty of post-game streams. Auburn versus LSU is up next. That will be on Wednesday. At 7 Eastern time is when the game starts. The post game will happen right after that, somewhere around 9, which means, folks, no Auburn family night, but this will take the place of your Auburn family night for that Wednesday night. This does happen occasionally during basketball season for us. As always, check out the links in the description for ways that you can keep up with us, support us, all that kind of thing. You could support us by shopping at Alumni Hall via our link in the descriptions on YouTube. If you can't find a link anywhere else, let us know and we'll get it to you. Shop with them and support them, and you support us vicariously by using our link that we have as an affiliate of theirs. All right, what else do we need to discuss? Final things. We do want to look ahead a little bit if we can, but certainly let's talk about it a little bit here. All things Auburn. Hey, Miss Tanya. We probably won't play another game. Yeah, I don't know. Play another game where the referees let so many fouls go. It looked a lot like the game in Knoxville a couple of years ago. And again, I know there's been a lot of discussion about refs tonight. And again, I'm going to speak as an Auburn person and for the Auburn people. Let's not do the whole blame the refs thing. We won the game. Let's not even make it about that. And I would say the same thing if it was a loss on that side of the thing. Frankly, if that opinion is true, that they let things go, I'm all for that. I would much rather them let us play, especially two very good basketball teams like that, rather than, constantly whistling and things like that and affecting the flow of the game. All right. So LSU's up next. So certainly we need to think about that game. I know some of you are already starting to dismiss it a little bit. Let's not do that. We do have to go on the road. And as we've learned in the SEC, there is no game that you should take for granted. We learned that at Georgia. So please give them the respect that they are due because they are in the SEC. And even if they are at the bottom of the SEC or close to it, they certainly stand the chance and have the talent to pull something off. Certainly, I think you've got to feel real good about this team. the big question is going to be, how is Janai after this game? Because if you remember kind of the progression, what we got to, Bruce said this morning at College Game Day that he had planned, they hoped to play him some if he was feeling good, in that kind of language. But then it turned to he's playing, but how much? And then it turned into he's playing tied for the most minutes in the game and having a double-double and leading the team in scoring. So, how quickly that advanced? How sore do you think he's going to be? Now, he has Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday now to get right, to get better. So keep that in mind. But certainly, you got to wonder how fresh, how good he's going to feel next time. And maybe this was the thing to kind of get everything stretched out to make him feel comfortable. I can tell you from personal experience, after you have an ankle injury like that bad, you're always a little off your game. And I think we could see Janai tonight was maybe a little bit pensive at times, but got back into his old self as the game continued to go on. Richard says the loudest so far this year at Neville. Certainly the TV commentators, Andy even expressed that as a little bit tonight as I was listening to him. So I have no doubts about that at all. Let's see here. Jacob says he was visibly favoring that ankle. It's going to be sore. I doubt he practices much. And in the practice, maybe not be so much of the hardcore up and down type of things, but doing some, light stretching and light drills and things like that to make sure he stays loose. But I'm sure he's got a well-regimented thing to do. I just saw my buddy Austin, our co-host of the Auburn Experience. He says, y'all better be there tomorrow. He is alluding, if you're listening to the replay, watching the replay, certainly go back and watch episode 111. We do have some opinions about some things related to basketball that we are going to discuss more thoroughly than it was on social media today. We'll just leave it at that because that's all this needs to be about. 9 Eastern time on Sunday nights. Don't miss it. Is there anything else that we haven't talked about that you would like to do? We're a little bit longer on our time this evening, but certainly this is a huge moment in Auburn basketball season. All of the things that were leading up to this point, all of the excitement, certainly some other storylines about the football recruits seeing this that were there this evening for Junior Day. That's going to pay dividends there. This is just one of those moments that you hope Auburn takes to the full advantage of every aspect. Whether it's who's visiting for another sports team there, getting to showcase your venue, College Game Day is there. Not that you losing the game makes it less of an attractive place to be, by a lot, but certainly when they come to Auburn, as often they do, and they're rewarded with wins like this against major opponents, they keep wanting to come back. Let's see if we can make it 6 technically seasons, since they missed that one season because they didn't do any shows. But let's see if we can make it 6 College Game Day seasons in a row next year, all coming together at Auburn, Tommy says, to tie it all in a bow. 7th AP win a season, another quad 1 win. Just keep racking them up. All the good feelings, all the good vibes. Rounding it out here. The score, the stat, the storyline. Your final score, 51-53. Your Auburn Tigers are victorious over the number 6 in the AP poll, Tennessee Volunteers, one of the best in college basketball and the second best team. And I don't say that in a disparaging way, but the second best team in a very good SEC, the second best team in the SEC. Your big stat that we talked about at the beginning of the game was 33 minutes. They changed the minutes now, so he technically is second. Actually, they moved him around a lot. But 33 minutes for Janai Broome tonight is your big stat in his return, which is our storyline after that big ankle injury, and ends up leading us as the leading scorer, double-double, the best player in college basketball. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Great crowd, great responses. Hope to see you here tomorrow night for the Auburn Experience podcast. Hope to see you on post-game streams coming up here in the future. Until we talk to you again, thank you guys so much for hanging out and being part of our little family within the Auburn family. Until we talk to you again, War Eagle.